Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors you can see in and around me. If you are going to do a bit of business, then please keep it in the Millwall family and check out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. Right, that's done. This is not going to be pretty. It's your post-match analysis video for yesterday's 2-0 defeat away at Blackburn Rovers. I'm just going to have a chat with you, really. I'm in a bad fucking mood anyway. My VCD boys just been tanked 6-0, which I'm not impressed with. Millwall yesterday fucked me over, 2-0 at Blackburn. Football can be like that sometimes, but just a level of desire that my boys have shown today. I'm sorry, I know this ain't a VCD fucking YouTube channel, but I ain't happy with them. And more importantly, the professional footballers that are paid to do this, and I paid vast amount of money to do this. Am I fucked off with the manager or the players? As I said, I just blame the players there, but I've got to be honest with you, I've watered this down for a long, long time, and I don't think the manager's allowing them to play. Let's start out with the team selection. As I said, there's not going to be any editing in any clips because I just straight up can't be fucked with it. I did an away day yesterday. I got the footage together. I ain't even going to make you suffer it. It's fucking horrendous. It's just me sitting there moaning like fuck with my squinty eyes and my big fat head, moaning into the camera. Shit turnout from our fans yesterday, and I don't blame you. I'm getting severely fucked off of away games watching Millwall. I'll be honest with you. The team was Bolkowski in goal. Back four was as you were. Then midfield central three, we went with a 4-5-1. Malumbi got the start we all craved. Played with Leonard and Thompson. Jed and Mahoney were on the wings, and then up front as a lone striker was John Daddy Bavarsson. That was a team I was pretty much happy with. I won't go over old ground. There's probably one or two I'd change in there. And Bavarsson up front, I did like that, to be fair. I did like the look of it. And going 4-5-1's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I'm going to tell you now, I strongly believe Neil Harris is selling us short. He's selling our team short. He's selling the fans short away from home. He can't have any belief or confidence in our players. He's off. It's half an insult to our players, I believe. And listen, again, before people start getting the fucking up me and ringing me up, I'm just a fan that pays his money to go to games, so I'm entitled to my opinion. People need to remember that. That's the first thing. We were shit, and for a long time, I've blamed players. I've had a pop at Jeb Wallace because Jeb Wallace doesn't run down the wings anymore and put crosses in. Now Conor Mahoney is a fantastic talent. Joined our club. Met his old man yesterday. What a character he is. Good to meet you, Mikel, and look forward to having a drink with you, mate, when you come down. It was a random one meeting you, but I'll get into that later on. Conor Mahoney was a fantastic player when he joined us. If you noticed already, Harry's not as good as he was because the problem of our players is they're playing to our manager's instructions. If you're a professional footballer, if I was a professional footballer, one of the last teams on the planet I'd want to play for is Millwall Football Club because we don't play football, for one. We've got no ideas, for two, which means the coaching is not up to scratch because if you go to work all week, and alright, footballers only train maybe 9 till 1, 4 days a week, but they play on the Saturdays. What are they doing a week in training? What are we practicing? Because we don't pass the ball, we don't move the ball quickly. Players yesterday kicking balls up in the air. Again, I'm not blaming Ryan Ender because he wasn't to blame again for our result yesterday. He was as horrendous as everyone else was. The goalkeeper's the only one who can take anything out of yesterday's game. If I go through the team quickly as in terms of performance, Bolkowski kept us in it, weren't for him, could have been 4 or 5-0. Marlon Romeo, terrible, got to be dropped from McCarthy. Pearce, average. Cooper, awful. Murray Wallace, bordering bad. Central midfield 3, didn't even know that was out there. Tomo kept dwelling on the ball. Malumbi was all calling for him to start one at the races. Leonard can't pass from here to there. Jed, I felt sorry for him. He was running everywhere like a fucking wasp trying to get out of a window. But he's trying to do more because he's frustrated out on the right, and as a result, he just fucking has no position. He just runs all over the pitch, and he wasn't great. Mahoney was very quiet. And up front, Bavarsson, who I said could play as a lone striker, didn't get a sniff, didn't get a kick, and as I've said a million times before, not just playing in a Millwall team must be a boring job, but also on top of that, you know, our forwards ain't got a prayer. I've said it before, you could have Messi up front, you could have Ronaldo. Don't get the service, you ain't going to score the goals. I think now on reflection and fed up with watering things down and spending fucking money to go and watch these games away from home, I think it's down to the manager. And I said, I think he's selling his players short. And what I mean by that is, I don't think he's got confidence in our players. How can he have? How can he tell them to go to Middlesbrough and just defend and see what happens? I don't want to fucking go 4 hours up the road and pay 200 quid just to watch our football team sit and defend and see what happens. And if they breach us, then they breach us and then we'll go back and have a pop. Not for me. That is not, as someone said, the guy who had on yesterday on our fan cams. 3 very good fan cams yesterday. 3 very strong opinions. And if you wasn't there yesterday, you ain't fucking entitled to opinion. There you go. I've said it, because if you wasn't there, you didn't see how bad that was. We started well for the first 10 minutes. After that, it looked like we didn't want to be there. We was horrendous. And Blackburn are shit. And I'm not being bitter towards Blackburn. They done well. They won the game. When they did come forward, I mean, they kept kicking the ball off the pitch. It was like watching pub football yesterday. The ground is just an absolute soulless shithole, which surprises me. It's a weird little gaff, Blackburn. Weird town, no atmosphere. But when they did come forward, they had a good player in Bradley Dack, who isn't afraid to express himself, or is allowed to express himself, and he'll pick the right passes, move the ball quickly. It's very fucking basic, and we don't do any of it. We don't do fucking any of it. And I'm absolutely sick to death of it, if I'm honest with you. As luck would have it, I've got a free trip to Ibiza for the closing party, so I'm not going to be at Huddersfield. Flights, accommodation, the lot courtesy of my ex-employees at... forgotten the fucking name of the company. Sorry to Jim Elwood and Little Chris, but you know what I'm talking about. Forgotten the company I used to work for. But I've been invited to go, and I weren't going to go because I wanted to do every game this year. But on the back of yesterday, never in a fucking million years am I going to Huddersfield. And I don't blame... Nearly dropped the mic. I don't blame anyone that's not going to Huddersfield, because what we expect from a Millwall team is fight. I don't expect to win 50% of games being a Millwall fan. I'll travel up north. I'll happily see us lose 5-6-0. But as long as we've applied ourselves in the game, as long as we've not sat back and shit ourselves against shit like Blackburn and against Middlesbrough, what are we doing? I'd rather go up there, have a go and lose 6-2, but at least fucking put an effort in. Neil Harris can have no confidence in his players, all the players we've signed. He can't have any confidence in them. He obviously don't think they can do it. I'm telling you now, we sat back against Middlesbrough, they was there for the taking. We always wait for a team to score, and then we try and nick something out of the game. It's fucking, what sort of existence is that? It's shit. Just go for it. Just go 4-4-2. He obviously thinks we're going to struggle to get a result anyway by the way he sets up. So just fucking do it. Just go there and try and win the game. You don't win the game, Millwall fans don't care. As I said, you win 50% of the games, it don't matter. But as long as everyone goes on about the Millwall way, and the guy I said in the last fan cam hit the nail completely on the fucking head, and he said, there isn't a Millwall way, there's a Millwall attitude, and these players don't have it. And they don't, but I think, one, they must be bored as fuck playing under Neil Harris away from home, and maybe in general, and 2, maybe they just didn't fancy it yesterday. I would have rather gone up there and played the fucking youth team. Billy Mitchell would have had a go without doubt. George Alexander. They looked like they didn't want to be out there. It was embarrassing. It was bad. It was the worst I've ever seen us away from home, in line with Bolton away last season, Hull away last season, Peterborough away when we lost 5-1. And if you don't agree, I don't give a fuck, to be honest. If you was there, then you'll know like me, because it was bad. It was very bad, and it's not going to change. If you go to teams like Fulham, like Cardiff, big teams in this division, top clubs in this division, West Bromwich Albion, I understand sitting at West Brom, I understand sitting at Fulham. Go to Middlesbrough and show these fuckers too much respect. We're supposed to be Millwall, we're supposed to wear our heart on our sleeve. It's the whole basis, our club, the whole foundation of our club. And we go out there and shit ourselves and sit back and just wait for them to try and score. And then if they do, okay, we'll try and equalise. Another thing, Neil Harris seems to now have Ian Holloway syndrome. Everyone Holloway to the fucking hill. I'm going to have to beat that, sorry. Because towards the end of the games, he just panic and throw 4 strikers on. It's exactly what we've been doing under Harris. He's got to stop. He has to stop. And for people saying, what we need to do is fuck Livermore off, why are people blaming Dave Livermore? Dave Livermore's been given a job as Harris's assistant. He is Harris's assistant. The buck lies and stops with the manager, right? And this, see what else isn't going to happen. Someone coming in, a higher power, Steve Coppell, etc., someone along those lines, to be a director of football. Not going to happen. Because Neil Harris's ego won't allow that. There you go, there's the facts. So it's either Harris and Livermore doing it, or Harris and Livermore at the club, right? For now, I still think the manager should be in. And we've got to stop this sitting back and showing shit teams like Middlesbrough and Blackburn too much respect. Why? Why are we doing it? Go there, play the Millwall way, have a go. He obviously, as I said, already thinks we're going to lose. So just go there and have a go. At least you get the respect of the fucking fans and the other clubs. That was fucking shit yesterday. It was like watching pub football. Really bad. Terrible. On top of that, for the people who will say, and let's not forget, despite this fucking rant, which don't happen often, I'm still Neil Harris in. Because if you look at, again, and I said this in my live stream last week, the performances are shit. It's painful to watch. But ultimately, we want to survive in this division. This season will be last season on repeat. Complete new players in, 10 new players, but nothing's going to change. It will be just about surviving, which is fine, and I'm happy with that. But for those who bang on about, and I've said it, obviously I'll show both sides of the coin. Neil Harris, we haven't got a budget, we haven't got this, we haven't got that. We've got players within our budget, and if you look at our players now, for example, Tom Bradshaw, just behind him, Thompson, Mahoney, Jed Wallace, they're not bad players. So we've got the players to do the job. It doesn't matter what we spent on them or how we got them. The recruitment's been good, in my opinion. We've got the decent players there, but you've got to let them express themselves. You've got to let them play. We play with wingers, but they're not like wingers because they're not allowed to run down a wing and put crosses in. They're told, they must be told to tuck in and try and get off the knockdowns and play shit fucking football. And I can take shit football at the den, but I can't take shit football when I've gone 4 hours up the road and cowering away from shit teams, like I've just said. Fucking fuming. Just, do you know what? One of the worst away that I've had on the channel since it started. Did not enjoy yesterday one bit. Just no one seemed like they give a fuck. I said if the players were, if the fans were players, we'd be flying because we all know and love what it, know what it means to be a Millwall fucking supporter. But mate, that was shit yesterday. It was really bad, and it won't change. Something's got to give. We've just got to play like we play at home. Go away from home, do the same thing. Be intense, take it to teams. We lose 6-0, I don't care. I don't care, but Fulham, as good as they were, sat back, showed them too much respect. Neil Harris is selling us short. He's selling our players short. He's telling our players, don't go to teams and try and play. Just sit there. And we literally just sat there until they got into our half. Then we tried to do stuff about it. On the flip side of that, as much as I've slagged Harris, the players were fucking useless. Romeo's got to be dropped, I'm sorry, but he has. Runs around like headless chicken. Ryan Leonard shouldn't be in this division, let alone this team. Thompson getting caught on the ball yesterday. As I said, Malumbi and Jed aren't allowed to play. They've just got to tuck in and do fuck all. But Varson can't play up front by himself because he don't get any service and he's not strong enough to hold the ball up. The back four, Cooper was terrible. I seriously would consider bringing in Hutchinson for Pearce. The goalkeeper's the only one who can take any credit out of that, and who can take credit out yesterday is the 500 or so fans that followed up the fucking train journey, car journey, however long it took you to get there, or however much it cost you. I feel like apologising fucking on the club's behalf here. Not that it's anything to fucking do with me. But you'd expect heads to roll, wouldn't you? In the dressing room after. Neil Harris's comments, I can't even go into them. And I have looked at them because someone said to me at the train station, have you seen the shit that's come out of his mouth? Fucking wow. I'm going to leave it there because it was... He's either bullshitting us or he don't know what he's talking about. That's the bottom line of that one. It was horrendous, and if he can't see it, then... I won't say the magic words just yet, but I've had enough. If you didn't like this video, I don't give a fuck. See you next week. Come on, you lines.